Hi, Sue Lawson here at NAB 2018 with Ross Shane. You know what's coming up next? Mocha VR. There are many different versions and flavors of Mocha depending on what somebody needs, including there's one that automatically ships inside After Effects, and there's...
Yeah, that's right. In fact, we were realizing today that that Mocha AE that ships inside of After Effects has been in there since CS4. It's been 10 years.
Oh my gosh. And I just started using it. I'm really bad.
Yeah, so beyond Mocha AE, which a lot of people know about, we have Mocha Pro, which runs in many hosts, you know, in Avid and Adobe and Nuke and OFX and things like that. And we released Mocha VR in the last year, and it's really been adopted by a lot of the content creators who are making 360 VR content.
This is awesome. When I was walking by and I saw him demoing this, it's just like, oh, we have to talk. So as long as he still has a little bit of a voice, tell me a little bit about Mocha VR.
Sure. I'm going to pull over my chair a little bit and kind of walk you guys through it. Mocha VR uses our planar tracking in our masking tools, and we've adopted them for spherical 360 space. Okay? So, in this shot right here, I'm running inside of Adobe After Effects, and we have a little Mocha icon, which I can launch, and now we're in the Mocha VR interface. Once we're in this interface, we have access to a full 360 clip. So this was shot with a spherical 360 camera. Now, as a creative person, I'd much rather be working in this flattened view than in this distorted equirectangular view, which is really great. So I can go ahead and use Mocha tools that many of us know and love after all these years, create a little X-spline here, and just hit track forwards, and we're gonna be following the motion of her arm. But the great thing here is that this shape, this mask, is actually being tracked in both views. So as the shape goes across the seam, we actually have this really nice workflow here. And we can look at that either way. So how this works for tracking is really interesting. So I can go ahead and use Mocha's tracking to track objects to different areas. Like say, for example, I want to track an object to this wall here. In fact, maybe we're going to go ahead and put the a little graffiti image on this wall here. What we're going to do is use Mocha VR's tracker to just hit track forwards. And we have a really, really unique way of doing offset tracking. So if you could see that as these pixels come into my search area, we're automatically creating this offset relationship. So we're not tracking these out of focus pixels. We're actually tracking only the in focus pixels. So things like that make this a very, very powerful software. But what's always very important to BorisFX and Imagineer, which is the Mocha division, is we're taking very complex ideas and making them easy to use. So I'll show you one other quick example of this. Is stabilization has become a very important thing for these 360 creators. When you put a drone on a 360 camera and then you watch it in a headset, very possibly you might get nauseous, you might get motion sickness, because our heads actually, we don't do this much in real life. Right? So what we're going to do is use Mocha VR to stabilize this. So under our effect palette, and I'm running this in After Effects, but it works inside of Adobe Premiere quite well. What we're going to do is go ahead and draw a shape around this mountain range. Just simply draw a shape. That's all you really do, and then you hit track forwards. Now we're tracking the pixels of the mountain range, and my goal here is we're going to lock those pixels down and keep them nice and flat, because when we view things in a headset, it's the horizon that gives us our equilibrium, right? So we'll track. We've tracked that direction. Let's track backwards for a little bit. And then what we're going to do is go into the reorient module, and this red line basically represents the horizon, and I'm simply going to move this around like this until I find the horizon, and then boom, just like that, we've stabilized our 360 video.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah, very, very easy to use, and the great thing here is that I could train an editor to do this in 15, 20 minutes, and all of a sudden it's like without having to jump into 3D tracking, they can do some very, very complex stabilization.
That's because Mocha does all the work for us.
Exactly, yeah. Think of Mocha as like your little roto and tracking assistant, as Mary Poplin, my colleague, likes to say.
Assistant, nothing. It's taken over. I'm the assistant at this point when it comes to Mocha.
So that's just a really quick example of how Mocha VR is working to complement the Adobe workflow for 360 post-production.
And is it available now, or when will it be available?
Yeah, Mocha VR is actually available now, and that's found right on BorisFX.com. Well, thank you so much, and appreciate seeing you.
Good seeing you too.
Okay.
Sue Lawson, Ross Shane here at NAB 2018. He still has his voice. I didn't take the last little bit of it yet.